Today, what we will be discussing is how is AI impacting selling cybersecurity products in modern day. So before we get into it, like all the other pods, Romy, are you okay just to let the audience know a little bit about yourself, who you are, and where you come from?
Yes, so thank you very much for inviting me. I'm really excited. So regarding myself, I have more than 15 years of experience in sales in the cybersecurity area, from startups and even very big companies like Cisco and VMware, and specifically, but also in Tuffin and Imperva in the past, Reblaze, and also all kind of companies that I used to give them some kind of help.
Yeah.
I actually did everything about sales and security, from BDR to inside sales to renewals, customer experience. But what I like the most is the account management, to start everything and to finish the entire process with the customers, to understand their problems, their challenges, and to tailor for them the exact solution that it will be the best thing for them.
Mm.
And that's it.
Yeah, the full cradle to grave wraparound solution. You like the full journey with them. Makes total sense. So I'm guessing with your role, you just can't ignore how AI is affecting the first of the cybersecurity world, but then also how it's affecting your world as well in terms of selling products. Now, guessing we'll get into it, but like I'm guessing there's pros and cons with any argument. But to start us off, which side of the fence are you on? Do you think AI is having a is it keeping you up at night and it's like going, God, I wish this thing didn't come in and it's ruining my work, or is it actually helping with the sales and it's actually making things easier? Which side of the fence do you tip?
So AI and technology is wonderful. We just need to learn how to use it and how to be protected by that, because everything that is new is always, for some people, is scaring, for some
Mm,
people, it's challenging, and but in the end, it can help us a lot in a lot of things, in a lot of processes,
mm,
and to make things that are much more proactive and predictive, and
mm.
also effective. So I really like it.
Okay, okay. So let's look at some of the good things that AI is having on sales and cybersecurity. Now, obviously, it, marketing at this moment in time, I think that it does have a benefit with marketing. It makes a lot more engaging content. It's able to sort of automate tasks as well. Where's your head at in terms of AI when it comes to improving marketing strategies? Have you seen an improvement, or am I totally off with that assumption?
So it's still in the beginning, I think,
Mm,
as much as I see it also with my BDR friends, that I always like to hear how it's still going on there. And also with my sales friends. I think that it's more for now for marketing and BDR.
yeah,
It helps a lot, because you can really improve the how do you say it, to personalize a lot
mm,
of things. You can understand before what is the problem, what kind of company is that. You can make it much more personalized before you know the person.
mm,
But for the account manager itself, when it's already cooked, or it's less cold call, let's call it like that, I think that still it's not something that can change the human connection and all the human things that you know about the person, because in the end, it's a person selling to a person. It's
yeah,
not even a solution. Sometimes it can be the best solution and that's it. But a lot of the times, it's more about the connections between the account manager, the salesperson, and the customer, to
yeah.
understand the small things that he wants or she wants. But for marketing and BDR, I think that it can really help. And I see that already some of the companies are using uh, these capabilities.
Yeah, I totally agree. You give a very eclectic overview there of kind of like you say, being able to personalize it, but then it does. To what extent is it being personalized? Because it's not generative AI yet.
Mhm.
It is just AI, and it is in its. I say it's in its infancy in quotation marks for anyone who's only listened to the audio version of this. Um, and there is errors that come with it, like so like it might gather lots of personal statistics that you might need to in order to sell to an organization, but some of them statistics might be outdated, it might be wrong, and it might take the human brain to be like, oh, that isn't actually correct, that, and we might go into autopilot when we actually use it as well. So it could actually cause errors in our approach as well, and therefore it means that we're not giving that personalized approach, which doesn't give off the best outcome as well. So yeah, I totally agree with that eclectic overview that you're giving. And where do you sort of stand on the fact that we're in its infancy stage? Do you agree that we're still very much in the baby life cycle model and there's so much more to come? Or are you actually quite worried what generative AI can do, and it can actually put you and I out of a job, in essence? So where do you stand on that?
So I think it's still in the baby phase.
Yeah,
We're still trying. It's a trial and error and an error to see where things are going, and we're still checking because every time or each time that I'm doing some kind of a prompt in any AI solution, I'm checking myself. I
yeah,
can't post something or say something that is based 100% on that because I saw already a lot of mistakes, so I'm not basing myself on that. And besides that, besides the AI, that I think that is still in the processing and and also in the learning, because
yeah,
it's still learning what we are teaching the AI,
yeah,
because it's what we are teaching them. Um, but besides that, there are researchers that say that a human being is taking, let's say, 35,000 decisions a day. In these 35,000 decisions a day that you and me are taking each day, some of them are creative and amazing, and some of them are stupid. And this is something that still the AI is not able to
mm,
understand exactly, or understand if it's true, if Romy did a stupid decision, or
mm,
she was super creative and she found a way to go over that thing. So I think that we have still a lot of way to go, but we're already in an amazing era.
yeah, yeah. Me personally, my view on it is, I think people buy from people, and I really do. As much as AI is exciting, as much as Gen AI could be really exciting and scary, I just think that there will always be a need for human salespeople. I really do. I think when push comes to shove, and large amounts of money that organizations have when it comes to products, when it comes to securing their organization, trust is a big thing. These like trust, empathy, communication, honesty, like these core principles that can't be coded into a computer, because that's what makes humans unique. I really do think that as much as we can push this, it can never fully take a human's job. Do you agree?
I totally agree. And there are also other things, like, for example, customers that have their own agenda. For example,
Mm,
I have now an opportunity that I'm working on, and there are like 10 people involved, and
yeah.
some of them are really interested, and some of them are really interested in another vendor. And you see the questions that they ask, but if you don't know what is going behind that, you can't understand why they're asking that.
Mm,
So if you know that they really want, because they have a friend in another company, so they're asking specific question to try to make my solution less cheaper or more
mm,
expensive or less good. So since I know it from other ways, I know how to handle it, and to avoid it, or to put it in another way. But an AI can't do it. So
Mm.
these are exactly the things that the human factor is super crucial, and
Yeah.
we're not going anywhere.
Famous last words for us, ain't it, Romy? Famous last words. But well, let's give it some loving then. Let's, because whilst we've said that obviously, yeah, there's a few sort of worries around sort of AI and how it's not necessarily the best approach. There is undeniably a lot of good things that it provides us in a sales role in security. So one of that is automating tasks, and we know that in any walk of life, time is precious in our jobs, and being able to automate tasks is above and beyond an amazing assistance. So when it comes to automating tasks, do you yourself automate any tasks, and how has it helped?
So the task that I automate till now with the AI is more on LinkedIn,
Okay.
more than other things because or how to write better an email from the English side because it's not my mother tongue, or other languages like Italian or Hebrew. Always you find a way to write it in maybe in a better way.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm using it for. LinkedIn, I'm using it. I'm using a lot to find other sources to write a post. But I'm still a bit behind.
Mm, mm. No, no, I'm quite similar as well. It'd be foolish not to use it, because like sometimes when you just need something polishing up, my partner, she was like, okay, how do I, she runs a side job as just as a photographer, and she was like thinking, okay, what can I do for this social media post? And she essentially, I said like, okay, cool, let's use an AI tool, just because I don't know much about photography, so I don't really know the lingo, but
Mm.
let's get let's use an automated tool. Let's get it 80% there, and then
Okay.
it can do the remaining 20%. Let's work in tandem with it, as opposed to one taking the full burden over the other. And yeah, she was happy with it. We had to tweak it a little bit, but that's what links back to what we were saying at the start of this podcast about it's in its baby stage, it's in its infancy, it's an amazing thing, but why it needs nurturing, it needs time for it to be perfect, but because it's so cool, we should afford it at the time. So yeah, I totally agree with you as well.
So on that
So
purpose, sorry.
no, that's fine, Romy. What were you gonna say?
On that purpose, I'm doing some mentoring to some people that are not from my field, and when I tell them, okay, write a LinkedIn post, and okay, well, so what can I write it about? So let's try to see on ChatGPT. Write, give me 5 prompts about whatever. I'm a teacher. I'm a yoga teacher. I'm a mechanical engineer. Give
Yeah,
me 5 prompts. And oh my God. So I say, okay, the same thing. You can do 30 prompts. So you have posts for the entire month
yeah,
and so on. So they really like it.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. It is a good tool, so that's why we've got to give credit where credit's due, and AI is helping us out in the world of sales for that. Um, Another good positive, I would say, that AI helps us out is actually um, the actual products itself that we're selling. Like now, it's absolutely exploding, isn't it? And you can't even like go onto internet. You can't even go on LinkedIn without seeing like something dot AI or this or that. So I'm guessing with the companies that you now work for or have done in the past, that sometimes the toolings and the platforms that you're actually working with start to embed an AI capability. Am I right in thinking that, or is it still too early for that?
So most of the companies are saying that they're using AI. In the end, I'm not sure how much
Okay.
it's true, but let's say they are,
Yep.
okay? It's amazing, but it's also challenging, or there is also the negative side of that, because
Mm,
from one side, yes, it's make it more effective. You can use, I don't know, less people to do things. It might be more accurate or not. You have to check
mm,
it. But the main concern that I think that CISOs, that are chief security officers, or other people, is the fact that the insights of the organization might be used for other organizations. Since AI is a cooperative, let's say, solution, when you have AI embedded in your company or in your organization, it might go out. And that's the point that you really need to be careful about.
Okay. Okay. Do you think that if companies didn't say that they did AI, do you think that they would get left behind? Do you think it's so much of a buzzword now, that it's so much of a hook, line, and sinker, that if you're up against competitor A and competitor B, and competitor B doesn't flash that they do AI and they offer this security service that works in tandem with AI, that they would then essentially get left behind, even though they don't actually know what AI does. Because like I say, AI is so new. It's like, yeah, it's artificial intelligence, but there's so many different variations of it. So what does it actually mean? Because it's just got this celebrity status now, hasn't it? So what do you think about that? Do you think companies will get left behind if they don't mention that they do it?
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely yes. Um, I see that all the companies are asking it, even companies that are working on-prem, even
Mm,
companies that are not in the cloud are asking for, oh, okay, so it's done by AI. Not necessarily. And also, if you want AI from your company, okay, just learning from yourself. But if you want AI that it's from the entire
mm,
world, you have to be open. So it doesn't make sense. But I think that it's a buzzword that you need to take in consideration in some way. And also because when you're doing marketing events, people
yeah,
are looking for that. It's much more sexy and much more appealing when you have AI, even
yeah,
if it's just a small feature,
yeah,
and not saying that even if you don't have AI, find a way to have AI somewhere,
yeah,
just for people to come, because also the technical people wants to go forward and not backwards, and they want to have technologies that they can learn and they can go to the next level. So they don't want to buy things that are legacy. They want
mm,
to buy things that are the future.
yeah, absolutely. Totally agree. Um, Now, when it comes to my world, obviously in terms of the recruitment market and in terms of jobs, for years and years and years, there's been the whole stigma in the UK, specifically in the UK, that there's a massive skill shortage. I know that they still gets branded out globally as well, but it's quite sort of quite shouted from the rooftops a little bit that there is a skill shortage. Now, I personally don't think that there is a massive skill shortage. I think that there's just barriers to entry. I think there's the need for it. I just think that the barriers to entry are there. However, my opinion changes when we throw AI into it. And do I think that AI will then start taking the more entry level roles because the fact that it can maybe do, the ticketing system maybe do like the L1, L2 SOC roles.
Mhm.
Um, I'm keen to hear your opinion on that, and then also how it would affect the maybe the more SDR sales roles at the start, or how would it look in terms of the cybersecurity sales world in terms of, do you think AI could take that lower banding of jobs?
So what the market is saying is yes, but I'm not
Mm,
sure it's going to totally be like that, because of a few reasons. First of all, to become a manager or to use the copilot as a copilot, you need to start as I don't know, the helper, okay? So you can't be the executive before you're starting from the base. So people needs to be L1, L2, tier one, tier two, somewhere, okay, to arrive to tier three. So they need this um, to, to grow anyway,
yeah.
to start from somewhere. And let's say that they don't need to grow, but somebody needs always to check that, as we said before, that it's not accurate by 100%. So we need to check that the information is true. So yes, it can be helped a lot by AI, but you want also somebody that will say, that's good, okay. Or even a sum of the amount, even if it's not 100% of the amount to check the AI, but some of the amount to check if it's true or if it's accurate. Somebody needs to check it because, as I said before, there are things and connections that are human that the computer, for now, can't do them. So maybe in 10 years, 5 years, I don't know, it will be able, but for now, I don't see that the AI is capable to do it, and somebody needs to do the double check.
Yeah, yeah. Again, there's a running theme obviously through our chat, isn't there, that it really is in its infancy, and we just think that we have the power for now as humans. We have the power for now, which is reassuring at the very least. But yeah, I totally agree with your point about the fact that I don't think it'll cause a massive job shift. I just don't think that I do and I don't. I think the sales world, I think, will be okay in terms of like you say the lower, maybe the SDR roles will be fine. But I do actually think that it could take some technical roles for the time being. I'm already seeing in the defence world in the UK that the market in the last 12 months, maybe even longer, has been a bit spluttery in terms of the defence sector, whereas the GTM sector across EMEA is buoyant, and maybe that is parallel to AI. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's more parallel to the geopolitical landscape. Maybe it's more parallel to the economy. I don't know. I'm not clever enough to know the answer of that. But I do think that it's starting to take the lower end of the technical roles. I don't know if you agree with that.
Yeah, I think that the low level, it will be much smaller, but not it's not going to disappear. But I also think that there are going to be new roles that we don't know them yet. Like, for example, people that write great prompts, like because I actually don't write amazing prompts. And I see people that write things that are amazing. And, okay, I didn't think about that. So maybe this is going to be the new job, write an amazing prompt, because to know to ask questions is very important. Maybe there are going to be other roles that you and me are not able even to think about them today, but they're going to be tomorrow.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Robbie, as we enter the last 5 minutes of pod, what I always like to do at the end is just to get a bit of career advice as well for anyone that might be listening. So obviously, you've got a vast amount of experience now, and what would you kind of advise to people, in terms of if somebody was starting out now, what path they would take, what industries to look at, what mentors to look at getting, and maybe also delve into some of the mistakes that you made along the way, and why that maybe you learned from them, or maybe for people to avoid making that mistake. Just a little bit of your wisdom that some people that might be listening.
Okay, so I think that the things of the future are, AI and of course the cloud. Okay, so if you want to be in the future economy, these are the things that you need to learn. Saying that, also in the end, you also need to also have people that are taking care of, I don't know, servers and Wi-Fi. So it's not black and white. So if somebody is very technical, there's also places where to go to the main basics of internet. They are where the internet is going. Okay, so where the cloud is on the servers. So in the end, you need also people that are taking care of the physical things. Okay. So this is one. Second, I think that you need to always think about not the next role you want to do or this role you want to do, but two roles in front of you. You have to decide this role needs to be the role that will take you to not to the next role, but the one after it. So you also always have to think in that way.
Yep.
I think that you need to be on LinkedIn very much. I know it's difficult, and I'm helping a lot of people and willing to help whoever is asking. I also started without knowing how to do it, and friends helped me. And the community is very, very important in this field, in any field, actually, to build a community with like for yourself or with friends that are from the same area that will help you also on LinkedIn.
Yep.
And I think that something that like a mistake that I did, for example, is to take one of the roles that I took. Wasn't exactly what I wanted, and I didn't know exactly where I'm going to, and it took me a lot of time to find the next role after it, because people said, yeah, but you're doing this role, so how can you be another role? So in the moment you're entering in one path, it's a bit difficult to go to another path, despite people are saying that you have the capabilities and the potential. And I think that in the UK, you feel it very much as I hear my friends from the UK. But the fact that, I don't know, a marketing person is able to do an event, okay? It doesn't matter which event. I'm able to do an event. So if I'm doing an event for cyber, or if it's an event for birds, or I don't know, clothes, or whatever, it doesn't matter, right? I know how to make an event. But for the market, it's not like that. If you did events for cyber, you are now doing events for cyber for the entire life. It's very difficult to change. So if you're choosing a path, it's not for life. You can change it, of course, but it might take you to that path for your entire life.
Yeah, no, some really good advice there, and even before that, I've really enjoyed the chat about around AI, and it's a difficult one because we're all still trying to grasp our head around what this phenomenon is. But yeah, really interesting chat. I think we're totally in agreement of the fact that as an overlying view, whilst it's amazing, we can't understate that human intervention it's still is king, I think, for the time being. But like I say, it is a phenomenon that we can't ignore. You shouldn't ignore it, and we should work in tandem with it. And it shouldn't be an AI versus human approach. I think if we can master both worlds, I think it will just benefit the security and the wider world just that much better. So if anybody has any questions for Romy, I'll be sure to put her information down below. I'm sure that there will be quite a bit of interest in this specific topic. So if anybody is interested in doing a round two, absolutely fine with that as well. We can sort that out. But once again, Romy, thank you very much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.